Welcome. This is Comics Covered for the week of February 6th, 2019. This is episode 63.
Wow.
We're gonna have to make like a louder guttural sound like that every time the number goes up.
Oh, jeez.
Which, Lord willing, the numbers will always go up.
Yeah, it's really amazing how they do always go up, right?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a miracle, like praise the Lord that the numbers do always kind of go up.
Isn't it kind of weird that we use the word up and down for numbers getting bigger or smaller? Like, why
I feel like
it's bigger?
It's convenient to visualize, like assigning directions to it. But you think of up as being, I don't know.
Well, think about it this way: if you're numbering a list, would you number it 1 through 10 going up or 1 through 10 going down?
I can number 1 through 10 going down.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that weird?
Know. Yeah, I don't know. You have to assign a direction to it for whatever reason, and I don't know. For some reason, there's something natural about
from now on. I'm thinking of it. The numbers are going down if they're increasing.
I think of it as like I think it's like it has something to do with the instinctual kind of thing of like if something is bigger, it's taller.
Yeah, so we're not talking about height. We're talking about
I'm saying there's
direction.
there's something similar mentally there. Like there's a connection there. I mean, in terms of like thinking of something being bigger, being higher up.
I mean, you're right, absolutely. But I'm going to think about it going down now.
Okay, I'm going to stand backwards in elevators from now on.
Ooh.
Here on Comics Covered, we other than philosophical conversations about numbers and why they are the way they are. We talk about comic books and the world around them. We talk about the industry sometimes. We talk about the movies a lot of the time. We talk about TV occasionally and games almost never, but it's come up.
Maybe probably one hand we could count the number of times. Like no more than 5 times we've had games talk.
We talked about Ultimate Alliance 3.
Yeah.
We talked a bunch about Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you had a whole show on that. That counts for a little bit.
Yeah, we had a special on Spider-Man.
Marvel's new Avengers game that's theoretically coming out.
Yep, believe it when I see it. And that's about it.
Yeah.
We talked about Injustice, I feel like.
Well, we talked about Injustice, but that wasn't like a news story at that time, right? Or
no, I think some DLC came out at some point.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Atom, I think, at some point.
Okay, yeah. I think we talked about some of the DLC characters, yeah. We'll talk spoilers about some of the books we're going to talk about later in the show. We will warn you about those, though.
Yes.
So, I'm Doug, and I am responsible. I feel so guilty for creating my co-host's comics addiction.
You should. You know what? We're actually trying to plan on let me rephrase that. We're planning on bringing what we have in boxes already to a separate location already. It's because we don't have enough room in the room. So we're bringing some to my girlfriend's grandmother's house. And I don't know. I feel like that's a big step. When you can't contain everything within your humble abode. Nonetheless, I'm Jack. I'm very happy to be an addict of comic books. Yeah,
I'm very happy to be a heroin addict.
Ooh, hey! But in any case, I'm having a good time, Doug. So you don't have to feel bad necessarily until I sell my house to get some omnibus. So
yeah, until you OD on comics.
Yeah, God, what would that look like? You think? Someone,
you're lying on a couch and you've got you're holding 3 different comic books open in your hands, and you've got 20 other ones just plastered open all over your body, and you keep trying to pick all of them up and read another panel from each, in rapid fire. You're trying to read them all at once, and then eventually just your mouth starts foaming and you just kind of start jittering, and then you die.
Okay, wow. Damn.
Or your eyes start foaming, I suppose.
Gee, oh yeah, that would be good. Like a little Raiders of the Lost Ark almost too. They could just melt out of your eyes.
That famous sequence in Raiders of the Lost Ark when they read too many comics and their eyes started foaming.
Okay, I was talking about a general image.
I know.
You know what, Doug? Sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Speaking of though,
What?
so I hit a point this week, and I know I've talked about this a bunch, but I'm going to make a trial run this month
okay, wow.
at moving to digital.
Ooh, Doug.
I hit a point this month. I filled my comic boxes again.
Okay.
The comic boxes that I have, and I expanded by about 30% this year the number of boxes I have.
Oh, Jesus.
And I filled them again, and so now I'm like, oh god, I have to buy another box.
Wait, does this
Like,
mean
I can't. Like,
does this mean that you filled them and you can't like give away stuff? Is a thing? Is what
I
you
could
usually
give
do?
away stuff, but it's gotten to the point now where like I've like I get rid of stuff already. Like the stuff I have is like stuff I'm like really having a hard time getting rid of.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I could maybe get one more box, but like I don't even have room in my closet for it. I'd have to start stacking them.
Oh, jeez.
So I don't know. Anyways, I hit a point where I'm just like, I just started thinking a lot about like, if I'm going to continue this, like it's only going to get just
worse,
more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And the numbers only go up, turns out.
Yeah.
But so yeah, so I have an old iPad of Leah's / her that's my fiance. Her just to remind you.
Her social security number is.
Here's her social security number. Yeah, my partner, she has an old iPad, and then she has a bigger current one that I can use if she's not using it. But I'm gonna try signing up for DC Universe when Doom Patrol comes out, and then I'm gonna try reading their stuff, their comics that they have on there.
But they don't have like new stuff on there, do they?
No, it's not gonna be new stuff.
Okay.
But I'm going to try just kind of the experience of reading, because I've never read like comics on an iPad before. So I'm just going to try it and give it a shot, try to read a bunch of stuff while I'm under the trial.
Okay.
And see how I like it. And if I like it, I might cancel my poll at my store, which makes me feel very guilty, but
you're not going to be able to read like image stuff really online, will you?
You'll be able to read anything if you won't be able to do it under a subscription like that, but any of that stuff you can get through like Comixology.
Okay, I gotcha.
And you can set up you can subscribe to them on there, so they just automatically download.
Yeah.
In the app.
Isn't Comixology like the same price though, basically? As it is for picking up in store, which is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's a thing that like they should be cheaper, but basically the physical retailers have been such a large part of the industry for so long that they put up a big stink every time one of the publishers kind of says they're going to lower their digital prices. But they have a lot of sales on there for collected stuff all the time. So I don't know. That's also intriguing. I don't know. I'm going to try it. I'm probably going to make that move sometime soon.
Okay. Are you thinking about doing Marvel Unlimited then with that?
I'm not sure. I'm going to give the DC one a try just because I'm already planning on doing it for Doom Patrol. Okay. And see how I like it. I think the one I'm going to actually do, depending on whether or not I stick with DC Universe, is Comixology Unlimited, because they have kind of a brand agnostic selection of a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's a lot of Image stuff. It's a bunch of Marvel stuff. And now they have some DC stuff. So it's kind of it's not an ideal sampling, but it's at least not like I have to read all Marvel or all DC or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So this really isn't a money move. It's just a space move.
It's really a space move. Yeah.
Which
it's just
now makes me feel like you're moving to space.
Oh yes, I am packing up, and I am getting in my old covered wagon, and we are just kind of floating off into the great beyond.
Oh wow!
With all my comics. How was your week, Jack?
My week was fun. it was just a fun week. You know, I had a smaller poll. I guess let's not talk about our poll yet. But I had a fun week. This, literally last night, Samantha and I had been playing this game called The Saboteur, which is, have you ever heard of this game?
I've heard of it. I can picture the box art. It's, you're a saboteur, right? Are you in France?
So it's an open world game set in Nazi occupied Paris.
Okay, yes.
It's fucking cool, I think. It's from like 2009, so it's like a little bit more, you know, older in general in terms of games and graphics and stuff.
Yep.
But it's an awesome open world game. Basically, like they have this whole mechanic of like most of the map is black and white at the beginning, but then when you start like solving the Nazi stuff, blowing up the Nazi shit, it becomes color in one area, which is a cool concept. Story was fun. It's like basically a third-person shooter. Most of the gameplay is, but a lot of stealth, some espionage kind of stylings. Yeah, it was super fun. And that was like a lot of my week. I'm really glad we finished it. And I was just, I don't know, I'm going through this whole, so wait, I'm sorry. By the way, Games Talk, look at this. But I've been going through Samantha and I have been going through a lot of, older games. So, cause I never grew up with video games. I never played a lot of them. So it's really nice to like see the history of them and see like how they, you know, how they are compared to like where they took place in the history or the timeline of life. So yeah, no, I was a big fan. The Saboteur, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I guess we talk about non-comics related games a decent amount. I do feel like we do that.
Yeah, because you talked about Hitman recently. I think.
Yeah, I talked about Hitman a bunch, which I've still been playing, and it's still fantastic. But anyways, I've talked about that a bunch. But I watched Solo last night.
I'm really interested in that. Is that on Netflix or something?
They just put it on Netflix.
Okay.
So Solo, A Star Wars Story, which is the Han Solo prequel film that Disney and Lucasfilm made, starring everyone's favorite Alden. No, wait. Yes, Alden Ehrenreich.
Alan Alden.
Nope, Ellen Alden. Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden Ehrenreich. Why are you? Who is what?
Exactly. Anyways,
is that who plays Solo? Han Solo?
He plays Han Solo.
Oh.
He is kind of like, he does kind of look like, strikingly like he could be a young Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Like when he makes the right face and he's got the haircut and everything. He does a decent, like his voice sounds okay. He's not doing like an impression, but like it sometimes borders on that. Okay. But like he does a decent job of it. He's not, you know, he's not Harrison Ford. He doesn't have that charm. But
okay.
But it's a perfectly fine movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's good. We were looking for something to just kind of put on and not like pay a ton of attention to. And I had heard that it was like, it's okay. And so we put it on and yeah, it was fun. I ended up paying a bit more attention to it than I thought I was going to. So I guess that's, you know, that says something.
Okay. Is it just like a heist movie?
Kinda. Yeah. Like there's a bunch of like, they're stealing a bunch of shit and they're in debt to different bands of smugglers and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So yeah.
So is it kind of like a heist after heist after heist, like, sort of like,
it's like they keep like trying to do heists and then like getting themselves in deeper because they keep failing at the heists and so then they gotta pull another heist. You know, yeah.
Interesting.
It's fairly light on the kind of like referencey stuff that some of the like Rogue One was.
I liked Rogue One a lot.
I liked Rogue One just fine. Again.
Okay, what do you like better?
I liked Rogue One more probably, but I don't know. Rogue One is fine. I have some friends who are very, very big fans of Rogue One, and I'm just kind of baffled a little bit by it, but I did like it.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I'd probably still watch that over this. But
so I have a question. What would you say? Like, I don't know. Is there anything special about this movie?
It's fun seeing more stuff with Han Solo, even if it's not Harrison Ford. Like, he's a fun character. Like, it's interesting seeing kind of a young version of that character and kind of like him meeting Chewie, and like, it's not necessarily stuff that needed to be explained, but like, it's entertaining seeing it. I didn't feel like it was like ruining the mystery or something.
Okay.
So like, I thought that some of that stuff was fun. They did a very, the one dumb thing that felt that they needed to explain, you know, because they always need to explain some big thing with a prequel.
What?
It's the dumbest thing. Okay, so are you aware of the Kessel Run thing?
Yes, like what is it? The Millennium Falcon did the Kessel Run in 25 parsecs or some shit.
It's under 12 parsecs.
Under 12 parsecs.
Which has always been a long running joke with Star Wars fans.
Like, was it a lie or something?
Well, because a parsec is a measurement of distance.
Oh.
Not time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which has always been the thing among, like, kind of people who are, I don't know, aware of that little tidbit. But, it's always just been a joke because that line makes no sense.
Okay.
It's gibberish. I made the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs. What? you made it in less distance?
So they like cut off part of the track or something like that?
So anyway, so it's always been kind of written off, at least in my mind, as just like George Lucas heard a silly sci-fi term and just stuck it in however and didn't bother to learn what it actually meant.
Okay.
And was just mistaken. I always assumed it was just a mistake.
Wait, so are you saying that parsec is a thing that, like, is that a real terminology? Like,
yes, it is a real scientific term.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Let me see. It is a unit of distance used in astronomy equal to about 3.26 light years.
Wow.
It is 1 parsec corresponds to the distance at which the mean radius of the Earth's orbit subtends, I don't know what that means, an angle of 1 second of arc. No idea what any of that means. Anyways, it's a unit of distance. That's V big.
Okay.
Anyways, so they have, so that's kind of been a joke related to Han Solo, and like whether or not like he just was bullshitting or whether the writers had no idea what they were talking about. Anyways, so they do the Kessel Run in this movie.
Okay.
That was and they explain why what he said makes sense.
Is it a joke?
The plot of the movie.
Oh, in the plot of the movie. Okay.
He does the Kessel Run, and after they do the Kessel Run, he says the line about how they did it under 12 parsecs and how it happened in the movie makes sense, and it's the dumbest thing.
Wait a minute. So is it a joke in the movie, or is it not a joke?
It's not a joke. He does the Kessel Run in a shorter distance.
Okay, can you just give me a little, like, I'm not gonna care. Anybody who cares, just
spoilers for
go
Solo
5 minutes,
if you haven't already gathered that.
Couple minutes forward.
Skip forward.
Just tell me.
So the Kessel Run is this big cloud of, I don't know, space garbage, whatever. Dangerous space nebula garbage. And you can't fly through it. The only way through it is through this tunnel through the middle.
Oh, so he goes through it?
So he goes through the cloud.
Okay.
So he does it but the thing about it though is Lando, played by Donald Glover in this.
Oh yeah, how is he? I forgot about him.
He's good. Like I was surprised that he's not. I was expecting him to be doing a Billy D. Williams impression.
Yeah,
and he's not.
Okay,
like he's just playing the character.
Okay,
and I thought that was good. That was a good choice. I thought that was the better option there. But anyways, yeah, he really fits. He works. But anyway, but like specifically Lando says at one point, like, you can't do the Kessel Run in under 20 parsecs. And it's like, that line doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would you? That's just not like the thing you would say is like you can't do the Kessel Run through the cloud, or you can't do the Kessel. Why would you refer to the distance of the tunnel?
Yeah. That's so
it's all
weird.
very obviously, if you're aware of that weird bit of lore, like it's all very obviously there to explain that in this dumb way. That's like, that's not a thing that needed fixing or explaining.
Like, why wouldn't they play it off as a joke? Be like, Han, you're being really stupid. Why would you describe it like that? But he just keeps doing it because he just like doesn't get it, or he thinks that's the impressive thing. Like, if they could played it off as a joke, I think
or at least like if they did the Kessel Run and then like he says he did it under 12 parsecs, and then someone's just like, that's not a measurement of time. It's also fascinating that this movie, knowing that it was a Lord and Miller movie originally, and that it was that they scripted it, and it was like originally intended to be this very improv comedy heavy thing. And then they got fired and they brought in Ron Howard because Disney was very unhappy with it. It's fascinating trying to find that line of where the original movie was, and where the new movie kind of starts, like the movie it ended up being, and you can see that weird, goofy improv comedy in it. Like, it's fucking like they have Woody Harrelson and Jon Favreau is an alien in it, and Donald Glover's in it, like, and a bunch of actors that like you can tell they were riffing, in a bunch of the scenes, just throwing out bullshit.
Like Daenerys Targaryen's great solo, improv, acting, right?
Well, yeah, there's other, more traditional actors in there as well, but like, but it's fascinating. A lot of that humor stayed in the movie, but it's lots of stuff where they're like kind of breaking the like fiction of scenes and stuff, where they're like villains like acting super nonchalant in weird, goofy ways, or like in ways that like they kept in there, but as a little spice to the movie. But it still feels like out of place.
Interesting.
It's very strange.
Which movie do you think would have been better? Overly Dramatic, or the one that's now, or if Phil Lord or whatever? I don't know who those people
probably
are.
the Chris Lord and Phil Miller.
Okay.
Maybe I have their names backwards. The Lord and Miller movie, I think, would have been more interesting to see. At least it would have been different. This feels like it kind of gestures towards that, but like it's also just kind of trying to be a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Or if they had gone further in the direction of making it like an Ocean's 11, like a heist thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. It's too bad.
But yeah, that's something that would kind of also like this and Rogue One were kind of theoretically heist movies, but don't really feel like heist movies,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I can feel that.
Like Rogue One is like a war movie, and this is about criminals. They pull heists, but they're not really like, I don't know. It's not a heist movie.
It's not like they planned the heist for like most of the movie, and then it's like
there's not
climax.
A heist planning like montage, and then like assembling the team and like all that kind of those tropes. But anyways,
what can you do? Okay, that's interesting though. I like it. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, but who knows?
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on into some news.
Nice.
So we got a little bit of an update here on the Disney-Fox merger.
Yeah.
Specific to this bit of news is kind of specifically referential to their Fox's R-rated output, such as Deadpool. So they put out, this is an article here. I'm looking at an article from The Verge.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who this
There's a Twitter thing.
From.
I don't know whose Twitter, like, said it, but it was a tweet that, like, went out. That was an update, right?
Yeah. Anyways, there's a quote from Bob Iger on here.
We will continue that business. There's certainly popularity with those types of films. Yeah.
So he's basically saying like that they might make more Deadpool movies. They might make more other R-rated Marvel property movies. It's unclear if I think what this specifically kind of means is more that like they're going to continue. They're not going to like stop making like the proven successful ones like Deadpool.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt that they're going to make like an MCU R-rated movie. There's been some rumors flying around about like Black Widow being R-rated, and I have a hard time seeing
that. Always sounded weird to me. Like, I would love it. I think it would fit the character and her upbringing, but I don't see it happening.
I think it would like, I'm not like saying that like superhero movies shouldn't be R-rated, but there's something weird about this franchise that like theoretically you could show your kid all these movies so far, all the MCU movies for the most part, and they'd be fine. Like some of them they might have to be a little older, but like there's something weird about like if Black Widow went off and had a movie and she's just like swearing and shooting people in the face, and then like I don't know, there's like a sex scene or something, and then she comes back and it's just like, all right, let's go fight Galactus. You know, like it'd have to be really separated, like really separated. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it wouldn't even. I just feel like, I mean, like Scarlett Johansson. It's possible, like they've done that in the comics forever. Like there are more adult-oriented titles with specific characters, but like I don't know, they'd have to toe a line there.
No, I can understand that. It can't be straight up Logan.
Oh yeah. But anyways, yeah.
Wait, but see, I have a question. You know, I really do think though that they're gonna look into how to toe that line, because like it's diversifying your funds. You know what I mean? It's putting your money into different things, and that's the first rule of business. I don't know. You know, I feel like it makes no business sense for them to just make everything PG-13. But
it also does, because like it is a proven kind of track record that like there are exceptions, yes, but making your film R-rated only narrows the audience that can see it. Especially in a genre and an industry that is very heavily attended by younger audiences. Like I don't know, like Deadpool is kind of a specific kind of thing, but like even Deadpool made a lot of money. Deadpool did not make MCU money. Like,
no, yeah, you're right.
Like it's like you can have a successful movie, but you're not going to have as successful of a movie. And I'm not against it. I would be surprised if that would be a move that they would make with their existing stuff. Anyways,
there should be like a level in between PG-13 and R. I feel like there's a big disparity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird now. I don't know. You can fucking do a lot of stuff with PG-13. I mean, PG-13 didn't used to exist. PG-13 is the in-between.
I know, the middle ground between PG and R,
which didn't exist until like the 80s. But anyways, yeah. So this fits with a report from end of last month that I don't think we talked about. Basically, where I think, again, Bob Iger, I'm not sure, but basically Disney said like they're not sure if Fox is going to be entirely just, their properties are going to be just subsumed into, like absorbed into Disney, or if they're going to retain the kind of Fox branding, or in some form, whether they change the name and just keep it as a separate brand or what. But it's strange.
Very strange.
Yeah, so I would be willing to bet if they kept making Deadpool movies, they would somehow keep some sort of separate branding on it.
I love that you wrote Fox may remain a separate imprint.
That's what they said in this article on Variety. They called it that.
Is imprint not a specific comics like book term?
I'm not sure. I feel like I've heard it used in relation to movie studios before.
Okay, maybe I'm getting mixed up with the word print being in it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah. So that's interesting. See how that kind of shakes out as time goes on.
Yeah.
I have no idea if this was an announced thing previously or not, but it's news to me. They released a trailer for DC Animated. Warner Brothers released a trailer for Justice League versus the Fatal Five, which is a new animated movie in their long-standing tradition of their straight-to-video animated stuff.
Mhm.
But the difference here being that it is the return of their old head of their animated wing, Bruce Timm, who used to run all of the animated movies, as well as the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited shows, Batman animated series, Superman, like all of that stuff, all of that like shared universe animated stuff back in the day. They brought him back a few years ago for Justice League Gods and Monsters, which was the only one I have liked of the DC animated movies in a while. I think we watched it together at some point, but we should watch it again now that you have a greater understanding of kind of DC lore and characters, because that is a movie
definitely.
that is heavily dependent on you kind of on a lot of like, oh, hey, that character. But we should watch that again sometime.
Interesting.
It's great.
I'm down. Is it on a streaming service or anything?
It's probably on DC Universe.
DC Universe. Got it.
But anyways,
yeah, I'm down. I just watched this trailer, by the way, like right before. Yeah, recording.
I mean, it's the trailer for one of their animated movies. It's not gonna be like an amazing trailer or anything, but like,
I feel like I shouldn't have watched it because I feel like it gave away a lot.
Anyways, it's, it looks like the old animated stuff, and they brought back the old voice cast. It's Kevin Conroy, and I do not recall the voices that Superman and Wonder Woman had, but it's those people from like.
They sound right.
They sound like the fucking. Those are the voices I hear in my head when I read a comic book. Like I hear the biggest thing for me is specifically Superman. Like I love Kevin Conroy, but God, I wish I knew this guy's name. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bother me. I think the voice for Superman is more iconic than Kevin Conroy as Batman. Honestly,
wow, that's interesting.
Like I can hear a variety of different people. Because there's been a number of different kind of iconic Batmen in live action. So sometimes I hear them, sometimes I'll hear Kevin Conroy, depending on kind of the vibe of the comic. But like Superman, I just hear this guy.
Interesting. I'm looking up right now. George Newbern is his name.
Is
George
Newbern? Anyways,
George Newbern.
Anyways, yeah, he is the voice from the old Justice League cartoon and the Superman cartoon. And yeah, I think his voice is absolutely the best voice for Superman, at least we've had on film.
He voices a dog in Pup Star.
Yeah, I don't know that he's a super.
One of the Air Bud
I don't know
movies.
that he's a super prolific voice actor outside of Superman, but hey, he's fucking Superman.
Oh, he played Superman in Injustice too.
Yeah, he's the voice of. There's a lot of. A lot of the old animated series voice actors in the Injustice games.
Some new ones.
And some new ones.
He plays Steve Trevor.
Oh, what?
In some newer animated films, he plays Steve Trevor.
Yeah, he's fantastic. But it's him. It's who is Wonder Woman? Susan Eisenberg. So yeah, all those old voice actors. It's a movie where Justice League is kind of mixing up with a bunch of Legion of Superheroes stuff. They're a teen superhero group from the future. Or anybody who doesn't know who they are, and facing off against one of their big villain groups, the Fatal Five.
The Fatal Five.
Movies heavily featuring Mr. Terrific and Ms. Martian, who's the kind of teen version of sidekick to Martian Manhunter.
Wait a minute. Sorry. So there's a character in the Fatal Five named Brainiac 5, and
no, Brainiac 5 is one of the Legion of Superheroes.
Okay, So
he is.
That's like in Quantum League, how the guy's name is Archive 5.
Oh yeah, that character is exactly
Archive V.
He is a play on Brainiac 5.
See, I don't know these things. This is great.
Yeah. So it's heavily featuring her Ms. Martian, Mr. Terrific, Jessica Cruz as the Green Lantern in this movie.
Who I need to learn more about. I need to read more.
She's cool.
Those two.
I want to read more. I need to read Jeff Johns' Justice League run because she comes from that. She used to be from Earth 2 as basically the villain version of Green Lantern because Earth 2 is all like everybody is reversed.
Oh.
Like all the good guys are bad guys and bad guys are good guys.
Damn.
But anyways, or I guess that's not Earth 2 here anymore. I think Earth 2 is now in the new 2. I think Earth 2 is the JSA Earth.
I'd say I can get my Multiversity book if you want.
You could?
No, I'm good.
Anyways, and then who else? There's someone else. Starboy, who's one of that's kind of their link into the Legion of Superheroes.
And Starboy is the one that's going to be in Stargirl, right?
No. That is basically a weird...
Oh no,
it's basically Star Spangled Boy. They're changing his name to, I think, just Starman.
Yeah.
They're kind of like amalgamating a lot of the Starman, Star Spangled Kid.
Makes sense.
Star Spangled Kid was his name, not boy.
I get the idea that the Starman whole origin stuff gets a little wonky like the Flash.
Yeah, it gets a little confusing, which, again, if you read more Starman, they deal with all that stuff. They incorporate all of the Star characters. Other than Starro. I don't think Starro makes an appearance. Dang it.
Well, Jarro.
Missed opportunities. Or Jarro.
Jarro.
Yeah, so
cool.
And that I'm excited. I like most of Bruce Timm's stuff more than really any of the other recent DC animated stuff. I think they've kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. And there was a time when like most of these movies were great. So yeah, that's a thing. Cool. One last little thing. I'll make it very quick. Okay. So, Captain Marvel's official website launched. It's very funny.
Oh yeah. Did you go there early in the week? I did. It's so great. I love this.
It's great. So Captain Marvel is set in the 90s. So they basically made a 90s GeoCities page.
Mm-hmm.
GeoCities. How do you say that word?
I say GeoCities.
GeoCities. Anyways, it's a horrible looking 90s style website.
It's beautiful, Doug.
They have a multimedia section that has a game. It's great. It's terrible.
I need to go to the game. I haven't tried that yet.
It's dumb. They show you pictures of characters on the bus scene from the trailer.
Yeah.
And you guess if they're a Skrull or a human.
Oh.
It's actually kind of spoilery, I think. But
that's great.
Anyways.
When you scroll, have you gotten these faces poking out of the corner of the screen?
Oh yeah. There's that Skrull lady, the old Skrull lady. Anyways, so there's a little Easter egg thing on here that teases a villain.
Okay.
Which I don't know if they're teasing it for this movie or a future movie or what. But if you go to the Nick Fury section on here,
okay,
there is a third image that does not load.
Oh.
Just gives you a broken image icon. If you right click and say Open Image in New Tab, it is under the domain i.annihil.us.
Oh, jeez.
There is also a way to access this whole website under the domain annihil.us that I cannot recall how to do. But that was how I found this out. But
that's pretty crazy.
So Annihilus is a long-standing Marvel villain.
Yeah.
Often a Fantastic Four villain. But he is the leader of the Negative Zone.
Okay.
And basically, he's always trying to break into Earth, take it over with all his weird mutant hordes.
I wonder if they're setting him up to be like the next big bad.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be. Maybe he'll be the villain in the next Captain Marvel movie. I don't know. Shit. Or maybe they're teasing him for future Avengers shit or something. I don't know. Who knows?
It's exciting.
Cool. All right. That about does it for news. Let's move on into our weekly comments.
Cool.
Okay, so we both read a bunch of books this week.
Yes, we did.
Jack, why don't you list off the books that we both picked up?
I didn't read a lot, actually. I had 6 books that I picked up this week.
Wow.
This is probably one of my smallest weeks that I've had, other than special like holiday things, in a long time. But I did pick up Daredevil. We both picked up, Daredevil #1 by Chip Zdarsky. Die #3, Immortal Hulk #13, which, that is right? Yes, it's right.
Yes.
Justice League #17, Justice League for the 3rd week in a row. Prodigy #3, and The Green Lantern #4.
All right. I also picked up Batman #64, which was the first of a 4-part crossover with The Flash, which is, what is it called? The title. It's called The Price of Justice.
I was going to say The Payment.
The Payment of Justice. The Price of Payment?
The Price of Payments.
The Price of Justice, and it is also a Heroes in Crisis tie-in, kind of, sort of. Anyways, that's the thing. So I picked that up. I got Umbrella Academy #5, Young Justice #2.
Okay.
So here's your spoiler warning.
Wait, 1 second. Have you watched any of Umbrella Academy yet?
Did it go up?
I thought it did. I thought I saw somewhere that it was said it was now streaming.
Oh, wow. I did not realize it had,
Well, wasn't there an ad in one of the books this week that said it was up?
It launches on the 15th.
Oh, so that's close.
It's coming out this week, yeah.
Oh shit, that's the same day as Doom Patrol.
Wow, huh. Oh boy. What am I gonna...
Jesus. Okay, well, that's a thing.
I don't know which one I'm gonna wear. I feel like Umbrella Academy is a more sure bet to be good, but I don't know that either of them is actually a sure bet.
I mean, we'll see. I like Ellen Page. She'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see. I have heard good early things about Umbrella Academy in a way that, like, actually made me a little more kind of positive about, like, it being good. But okay. I'm excited for both of them. Anyways.
It's exciting. Here's a spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning.
Did that go through?
We're doing like Stomp now.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so
we're
funny.
We're involving props and sound effects in.
When I was in elementary school, we watched Stomp in music class one time, and we actually got banned from anyone else watching it because we had gym right afterwards. And when we went into the locker room to change to our gym clothes, we like were slamming lockers and like stomping on the ground and stuff, having fun.
Oh
god, that was so much fun. Oh, I missed that. But in any case, Doug, can we start with Daredevil? Because I'm really excited to talk about this.
We sure can. That is really the one I'm so excited to talk about this week.
Okay. Because Chip Zdarsky, you know, he's used to writing jokey everything. We saw him recently debut with Invaders, which was awesome and very political, intriguey, like war story almost. And now we have this, which is so much different. God.
Yeah, so we have this is the debut of the new Daredevil series from Chip Zdarsky as writer, Marco Cicchetto as artist, Sunny Go as on colors. First part of No Fear, that's KNOW.
Yes.
Which is the arc. And yeah, so it's kind of part I did not read Infinity Wars, I assume this is kind of spinning out of.
Well, he had maybe, but also he had a miniseries just now, Man with No Fear.
Okay. Somehow he was injured.
Charles Soule or something like that.
Okay. Charles Soule has been writing Daredevil for a while now, so it probably was something he wrote.
I heard it was really, really good though, but I don't know if I'm going to read it.
I've tried reading Charles Soule stuff a number of times and I couldn't get into it, so I don't know. Maybe this is the thing I should read from him, but anyways. So he was clearly previously injured, so this is him kind of getting back into the game and kind of struggling with, like, being physically competent.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of recovering. We're getting flashbacks of him as a kid, kind of. You gotta have your flashbacks to blind child Matt Murdock, kind of
priest
with a priest. That is necessary, I guess. Anyways, so it's that, and then there's someone's kind of trying to hunt him down, who's like working for Mayor Wilson Fisk.
Wilson
I can't talk this week, can I?
Not really.
And then so
I think what's special about this though is, first of all, I think the art is absolutely gorgeous.
Marco Cicchetto's art in this, I have not read something with Marco Cicchetto on it, I don't think, and I was kind of blown away by this.
Yeah, the shit, like where he's going around his apartment, even like when he's doing his blind see thing, he's like touching stuff and you see all the ripples come off of it and everything like that. I'm really excited for that to work better in the future. Just that he draws with such drama. It reminds me a lot of Doug Mahnke's art almost, but like with a smoother sort of texture. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's a similar kind of vibe to that I could see. I think the line work's very different, but like, yeah, like it's the same kind of like, I don't know, it's not quite going for full photoreal, but like there's a style to it, but like it's got that same kind of like weight and drama to it.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy shading and stuff. It's really nice looking.
And I think
it's a very good fit for
it. This doesn't like tie that much into what's going on. I mean, the general like overarching plot, but there's not like a small like plot that's really going on. But I really like at the end, they have that little like, he's fucking dead with that drama. Like, yeah, what is it? At the end, Daredevil is caught with this fight with 3 guys, and he's having a lot of trouble because he's trying to get back into the game, but he gets through it, but then it turns out he fucking killed a guy.
Yeah, he accidentally, like, through kind of flailing around in this fight, he accidentally basically elbows a guy into a wall.
Yeah.
And I assume breaks his neck or something. It says head trauma.
Head trauma. Yeah.
Yeah, so he accidentally kills a guy because he's not fully in control. And that sucks.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So we're probably going to be dealing with him, kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, the police turning on him, the people turning on him. It's
definitely going to be about Wilson Fisk, like, using that as a tool to bring him down.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited. There are a lot of great things to go off of here. I think Chip Zdarsky does really well at building like long. I don't know. They're like, I feel tied into like the long like story that this character's got to go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, did you notice that this is like the exact same starting place as Daredevil has in season 3 of the TV show?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm not sure if this character is the priest character who has previously existed in Daredevil stuff. This, what is
it looks like
what
it.
Is this? Father Cathal? I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up before I start saying things about that character.
I mean, it looks like he's the priest that knew him as a kid and he's coming back, right? It definitely is.
I can't find him.
Well,
anyways.
Whatever. I don't know, what spoke to you? Did anything speak to you about the writing? I really like his voice, Chip Zdarsky's voice and how he writes characters specifically. And
I think he does a really great job of mixing kind of character drama into the action, into kind of like everything always is kind of charged with this great sense of emotion and stakes, which like we were very surprised by in books like 2 in 1, and then he's bringing it here with and kind of shedding even more of the humor. And it still works. And I think that just kind of speaks to his ability as a storyteller, his kind of range in terms of the kind of stuff he can write. I think, yeah, like the dialogue, the inner dialogue stuff as well is super great. It's never super on the nose. It's just kind of flowery enough. I was very impressed by this.
I'm really excited for it to continue. I mean, that's about, I don't know. I was really excited to talk about it, but that's just all you have to say, really. Like, it's just great.
Yeah. I don't know what I have to say in terms of cause it's really just kind of set up a lot of this. We're kind of building what the conflict is going to be.
You read the back part, by the way, right?
Oh, this backup story is
it's
fantastic.
It's simple. The story is fine, but like just the craft of it.
Well, it's the gimmick. It's the idea here of how he's putting out here. So we've got this backup story, Sense of Self, which is written and drawn.
Yeah,
by Zdarsky, is largely wordless. Not entirely, but so basically we have each page is basically doubled. So we get a page of panels, and then the next page is the same layout, but you see it how Matt Murdock, quote, perceives it, how he senses it, perceives it. And so we get the same kind of panels, but you see like basically what sounds he's hearing, what smells he's smelling, what he's feeling.
I didn't even notice the smells.
The smell one is great. There's a panel where he's looking down over a railing, and there's blue dots kind of around, and then there's some pink dots trailing off this guy, and then the next panel is a close-up of Matt Murdock's face in profile, and you see the little pink dots.
Oh, and you see the blue dots coming from the trash in the next panel.
Yeah, and then the blue dots are coming from trash in the next panel, and the pink dots are leading into a door, which is how he
my god. And then, like,
it's so great.
He can't see anything when he's in the room, so he does the clang on the pipes, and it...
Yeah, he hits a pipe with his stick, and that sends out a bunch of waves, and then he can see everything in the room. It's so good. It's just like, it's a really clever gimmick that, like, it works perfectly for this very small story that he tells here.
And the heart coming off the guy, he hears it coming from the kid. It's just the craft of this is simple enough. I hope this, I don't know, I'm sure, do you think he'll have more backup issues like this in the future? I hope so.
I hope he has other backup stories. I wonder how much you can squeeze out of this particular gimmick. There could be more. I just don't know how much more. Because you have to keep finding ways to use it in new kind of contexts. No, I know. In order for it to still kind of be cool. Otherwise, you're just still kind of doing the same thing over and over again, because there's not much to the story.
I can understand that.
It's 2 pages. But
I'm just really excited to get it integrated into like the action of the real story too, because I think the way that Chichetto does it too is really, really cool. Like, I like how it looks, like the scheme of the colors and everything. Yeah,
that's a thing that like is always cool in a Daredevil book, like seeing how they visualize that stuff. This kind of template that's in the backup and in this main story here is kind of fitting with the established kind of style that people tend to do when they show that. But it always looks super cool, and I
definitely.
Very
nice.
Cool. Big fans. Excited to see where this goes. Also, fantastic cover. There's some really good. And speaking of, like, we brought up how I said I made some kind of comment about how Marvel books in general don't look as nice as DC books. This book got some nice fucking design.
This was great. Who does the cover? Julian Totino Tedesco.
Tedesco. The cover, like the cover art is great, but I just mean like the
title layout,
the title layout, the title page in here. Also, I feel like it was really nice. Anyways, there's some nice typography. Anyways, moving on.
I want some more Comic Sans.
Comic Sans.
Yes.
God. Jokerman.
Okay, Doug. What do you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about
Immortal Hulk. I gotta be honest.
We got
I think Immortal Hulk has been great. It's been great. I think it's been a very high concept arc. And I haven't quite followed every single thing. Like, all the One Below and this shit and different names for the Hulk and, you know, this is opposite of that. But I've enjoyed every single one. This issue, I think, was crafted in an absolutely fantastic way to put those high concepts in, like, and apply them to something that I can really, like, emote with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I agree.
I fucking love this. Like, this whole, first of all, opening this book, after the first little title page where there's a tree burning, this first double page splash of this fucking devil cloud dude throwing up monsters spilling out of his mouth is like one of my favorite double page. Like, I think this is my favorite page of this series.
It's really good. It's like huge and mind bending in a way that, like, just really sells kind of what they're going for in this arc. It's this almost like Lovecraftian vision of hell. Like, it's inconceivable to think of this many monsters pouring out of this giant monster's mouth. Who I think this thing is... which one is the One Below All?
I believe...
Is it...
This is...
Okay, is that what this is? Okay. Yeah. Which... Fun little fact. I don't know if they brought it up in this story, but God in the Marvel Universe is the one above all.
Oh yeah. I think they brought it up. Like,
did they bring it up
in one of these like black and white sort of explanation pages sort of things?
Yeah. Which I just small note, small little quibble. These black and white pages I have been driving me insane. In their reuse of panels.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very frustrating.
It is a little frustrating. That's part of the reason what I've been talking about. Like, those are the main ones that are like, they're literally just saying all this mythology that, like, gets me a little bit like, okay, what's going on here? But it's, I mean, honestly, I'll take it for what I get in the other place. Like, this body horror shit, like, fucking, is that Rick Jones turning into Big Blue Monster guy?
Yeah, I'm trying to find what his name as the Big Blue guy is, because I know he has a name.
Okay.
In that form. He's a pre-existing character, but I cannot find it.
I don't know, man. But I love this, like, towing the line, like, how Gamma is, like, science until it's not kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love how that's treated, and then I love the use of Crusher Creel.
Yep.
In this. Like, it's... I don't know. It feels very, actually, like a good continuation of where he was left after, what is it? Black Bolt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's they're really kind of making good use of Absorbing Man in this. And yeah, I feel like this was the tying all the threads together issue.
Yes.
This is like taking all of the kind of little bits of story that we've kind of been building in this last arc, these last few arcs, and kind of tying them all together and going and giving you that resolution. And it's very satisfying seeing the Gamma get reinstated into the Hulk, and I kind of really liked the weird, like, fat sucked out of him, muscle sucked out of him version of the Hulk that we've been having the last few issues. I thought that was just like a really cool, like, weird,
like, emaciated looking, but still Hulk.
Emaciated, but like you could still see where all the bulk was. So it's so weird. But yeah, it's really satisfying the way in which they kind of tie everything back together.
And the scene with, like, the Hulk directly addressing Bruce Banner, I think, is great too.
It is great. Yeah. I'm still a little unclear exactly where they're saying this Devil Hulk personality came from, because I think they implied that, he says, I was there before any of the others. So I think they're saying he, like, way pre-existed the Hulk.
I thought the Devil Hulk was always inside Bruce Banner because of, like, his experiences in the past. but then the gamma gave that part of him power, sort of thing.
Yeah, or it gave the regular Hulk personality power or something. Yeah, I'm a little fuzzy on some of all that stuff still, but like the emotions here, I think still track.
Like, it's something about, like, the way he writes it. Like, it's, even though I don't necessarily know everything that's going on, I'm still super, like, invested in everything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. We talk about how, like, a lot of the big, like, mythology things with Scott Snyder, it's hard to, like, get a grip on. And here, I felt that same feeling sometimes, but it always brought me back into, like, feeling like, yes, this is fantastic, though.
Well,
you know?
Because, like, yeah, like the concepts and the ideas get really big and crazy, and sometimes you lose track of them, but the story doesn't slow. The emotional kind of core of the book doesn't grind to a halt in order to kind of explain all that stuff to you and, like, make all that stuff work. It just goes, this book is more about the emotional stuff. So they make that stuff absolutely clear and let the concept stuff be big and sometimes a little unwieldy. And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because the book is about the emotional core.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that is to the book's strength. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Someone made some post out there that kind of made this book this series kind of make a lot more sense to me. It's just, I'm just going to totally steal this from whoever said it on Twitter because I do not recall who said it, but I just thought it was an interesting thought that I want to reiterate. Someone said that, like, everybody's worried about, like, who's going to make the next Watchmen, and over here, Al Ewing is secretly making the next Swamp Thing.
Oh.
And it just kind of put kind of what this book is doing with this established character kind of in context, in the kind of thing it's trying to do in recontextualizing the character like this.
Yeah, I can see that totally. Like, even in terms of, like, how well the art works with what he's trying to do. Yeah, like, I keep flipping through these pages. It's fucking amazing. Like,
yeah, Joe Bennett is the absolute right artist for this story.
Yeah,
for this series.
It's just, yeah. And honestly, like, and then, like, this whole stuff has been great, but, like, going forward, I love this last scene of this phone call with Betty and her, and the lead-in of, like, where are you calling from? And it's just, I don't know, there's something about turning the page to the last thing that just makes you really excited for where it's going to go. I don't know why, because it's so different, but it just feels like, okay, oh, what are we doing now? You know?
Yeah. This book is great.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say about it. This issue was just kind of, was very satisfying.
Yeah. And I think the art took a huge place, like, here because of
some of those
action sequences and Hulk, like, slapping his hands together and then turning the page and seeing the smoke monster slowly dissipating with the sun kind of coming through.
Yes. So the big visuals in this issue were absolutely incredible, I think.
Yeah.
Cheerio. Cool. You have some stuff you want to talk about in die number 3, I take it, and I'm very curious about your note you made here, what it means.
Okay. So, in die number 3, I was just telling someone about this. Do you think this was better read as an issue or a trade? Because I think it's better issue format, just depending on, like, depending on the fact that we have a break between 3, where issue 3 comes and where issue 2 ended. And I think we're going to have that same break between issue 4 and issue 3. I think the timeline of this book is going to be like, they're going to have a few days where they're just kind of walking to their place. And then, like, they're going to have a big thing, you know, like this.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be fairly episodic, which makes sense because it's a book about tabletop RPGs. Like, and also, I want to say I read it. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read a bit of the backup kind of essay.
You didn't read all of it?
No, I'm going to, but I didn't get through all of it. I just kind of read a little bit of it, but I know he was invoking Planetary a bunch in the early parts, which is a series that is entirely kind of case of the week structure.
Okay.
And so he's saying that like that's part of the inspiration for kind of the structure of this book. So I'm wondering how kind of standalone a lot of these issues are going to feel.
Okay.
I'm getting the impression he's kind of mixing that a bit. Like there is going to still be a stronger ongoing arc, but like I feel like they are going to be very discrete kind of stories we're telling still in each. I'm also curious, are we just going to, I feel like we're going to go through each of the worlds issue by issue. I'm curious to know if we're going to be in a different fantasy world in the next issue or if we're going to stay here. I feel like we're going to move on. I feel like it's going to be, each issue is going to be a different world.
I don't know. But about my notes.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that one of the coolest things about this story is showing the difference between how they saw the fantasy world as teenagers into how they see it now as adults.
Yeah.
I think case in point is in this issue, Ash, our sort of main character, the dictator, she is, finds a trench to take cover from the dragon, and there's a, what amounts to an NPC in RPGs there. And he is telling her about how he kept running back and forth, to try and save his, teammates, and how he has a wife or whatever on the other side of the world that he wished he could have gone back to. And Ash is telling herself, I know this is all like, this isn't like really a real person, but I can't help but, feel for him. So she writes this whole letter for him, like, which is a waste of time because like she doesn't need to, but she feels she needs to.
Yeah.
And it's this whole story that's whatever, she's crying at the end because she cannot, I don't know. There's something about this that's different than when she was here before. I think she says that directly. Then, so I think that's really, really cool how they've shown that development of empathy and how that's easy. So then the last thing that happens in this book is this letter gets sent off with an eagle to theoretically go to the wife. And it gets shot down by this dude and or these 4 dudes, and the letter gets burned, and they're like, oh, this is probably the enemies speaking to each other. So, and it's 4 dudes. I'm pretty sure these are meant to be the same 4 dudes that died in the trenches. So I'm pretty sure that that whole thing is something that's going to be used as a manipulation by Saul to get them to do something based off of empathy when it doesn't matter, and nothing matters whatsoever here except for them being real people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And just kind of also the idea of like, I don't know. I mean, I think it fits into some of the themes here about like this endless war and kind of like, I don't know. Like there's a bunch of World War I analogies here. Kieran Gillen refers to it in the essay at the end as the Tolkien issue. So like, I mean, it is kind of dealing with some issues of kind of this idea of kind of this endless kind of pointless conflict, and treating people as kind of faceless fodder for this. And so,
but do you think these are the same 4 people going off into war? I'm not
sure if they're supposed to literally be.
I'm pretty sure they're supposed to literally be. Why else have this in here?
I think it's like metaphorical. Like I think it's just kind of about this fantasy world is about endless war. And so like, I mean, like maybe it is, but like I don't know that it's like a specific manipulation by Saul. I think it's just how this world works, that it's like they're always shoveling in new kind of iterations of the same soldiers or new faceless soldiers to kind of keep fighting this never-ending conflict.
Maybe. I don't know. I just thought that because it's like this sort of cyclical thing, like with the NPCs keeping. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I just thought they were literally this because they very pointedly said that there are 4 people that there was in their infantry in the story that the dude was telling her before. Yeah. I don't know.
I guess that's probably true. I do think like they're definitely supposed to like seem like they are at the very least. But the part where I don't know that it's a manipulation is the part where I don't think they even see them shooting down this arrow. Like,
what?
Or shooting down this letter, this hawk, this eagle. Like,
no, I don't think that's the manipulation part. I don't think this is particularly a manipulation. I think this was a test from Saul. I see. I think the manipulation is going to come as a thing later. I think this is tying sort of I think this is showing, maybe even him that he can use this as a way to manipulate them into doing something stupid.
Sure. Like, yeah, kind of testing them that they will still treat this as if it's real, even now that they kind of have more of an awareness that it's all being kind of fictionalized.
Well, they'll do it because they're different people now. He's seeing if they'll react in a way. Like, I don't know. I just really think that's going to come back in the future. So we'll wait, I guess, for that. But yeah, I love this, and I love these covers. Fucking Grief Knight on the cover.
Yeah, God,
shit's so good. I love this shit. I'm excited for that game to come out.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see. I want to see when the ramifications of the what is she called? The Godbinder? What is her
name? Godbinder? Oh, you mean like how she asked for a favor? And it's
she keeps like her power is basically she's like, asking for favors from all these gods. Like, when is the price gonna come back to bite her in the ass? Because she keeps just kind of hand waving away what she's gonna have to do for these gods.
I mean, my guess is the price is gonna be like a mission sort of thing that they put him on. Like some task they have to do.
Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what form it's going to take, but maybe. I feel like it is somehow going to come back to really bite her and probably the rest of the party in the ass real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this series it's still really cool.
I'm super excited. Okay, Doug, can we talk about Justice League?
Okay, very briefly.
And how... Okay, let's just hear what she has to say, because you were given it issue by issue, and I have a specific feeling about this, and I want to hear what you have to say about it.
I thought, like, generally, like, I like some of the ideas here. Also, I think, I don't know, some of this, I like the connection it's creating between Lex Luthor and Martian Manhunter, but the way it's done, I kind of really have a hard time swallowing.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking hate everything about this fake reveal of this child who introduces himself as Albie, meets a child Martian Manhunter, and then later in the story we get the most convoluted reason why, the Albie is actually Lex Luthor because let me find this goddamn
I got it.
Text bubble.
Albie was for LB, meaning L2, Luthor number 2. Alexander Luthor 1 was Lionel, your father. They told you to tell me he was your uncle, so I would trust you.
Like, what? That's the fucking most unnecessarily convoluted reason to explain why this child with a different name is actually this other existing character. Why wouldn't we just not name him earlier?
I guess
Why wouldn't he just not give... Why do we have to give this whole explanation for, like, how would this child get this nickname of Albie from that? That is the most convoluted sequence of, like, I'm imagining someone being in a room with this child, because they're implying people actually called him Albie.
Yeah.
So, I'm imagining someone being in a room with him and being like, I'll call you Albie. It's for LB, meaning L2, Luthor number 2. Which doesn't make any sense because, like, calling someone Luthor number 2 is nonsense.
Because
everyone in his family is Luthor. His name, they're, I don't.
Okay, I get that. That's one panel out of this whole story, though.
It just kind of exemplifies that it's just this weird, I think it's silly to imply that they both were friends as children. I like that they're trying to create this kind of emotional connection between the two characters, and I kind of like what it does, but I think it's a little silly. I don't know.
I can understand that. I don't know. For me, I fucking loved this issue. I thought this was exactly what Scott Snyder is the best at. I think that he's good at writing. It's a small step that has big implications. It's a very small story, Yeah. And he's not trying to do these huge things. And I think at the end of it, we come out of it with a greater understanding and a greater emotional context than when we went in with it. And that's what Scott Snyder is the best at. And we haven't seen a lot of that. So that's what I was focusing on, at least. And I fucking love where it ends up being, where, like, I'm pretty sure Lex Luthor is now unsure of his thing, and Brainiac's going to be the new leader of Legion Doom, probably. Yeah,
I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of reckoning in terms of Lex, kind of his leadership being challenged there. But, I would agree. Like, I think it was a step forward structurally, for sure.
So you're going to stay on it, even though you didn't necessarily like this?
Yeah. I just didn't like the flashback stuff, honestly.
Okay.
I found it very far-fetched.
I really loved Lex Luthor and Marsh Manhunter's voice, though, in this. I think
he writes those characters very well. They sounded exactly right.
Like, even though, like I was afraid that Lex Luthor wasn't going to sound right, because it's kind of a weird situation that, he just fucking blew up the source wall. Why are they here talking whatever? But it totally works, I think.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, interesting.
I have mixed feelings, but I definitely see what you're seeing about like it being a smaller story with more emotional context. And I think that is definitely a step in the right direction for him. Some of the specifics kind of frustrate me in terms of, I get they're saying they erase their memories, but revealing secret connections between characters is a little tricky sometimes, and I'm not sure this entirely pulled that off, but
I gotcha. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I thought that the Green Lantern this week I loved it.
Yeah.
But I do see that it was more in line with the style of the first issue.
I don't see that at all, actually.
Really? You didn't think it was a little bit more, like, convoluted or, like, trippy high stuff than No,
not really. I mean, it was definitely more kind of space sci-fi kind of centric, space opera-y centric, as opposed to the more kind of cop story stuff.
Yeah. But
I didn't think this was... I thought structurally this was very easy to follow. It wasn't throwing too much at me at once.
Okay.
I actually very much enjoyed this issue. I thought this was one of the better, like, this is maybe my second favorite after the last issue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I love this. I just thought, I don't know, I thought this took a lot of, I don't know. There were times where I was like, okay, why are they doing this? What are they going back to on this one? I don't know. Yeah. But I loved it. I think it's great.
Also, I just want to...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I had nothing to say.
I love this volcano head guy. What is his goddamn name? Volk. And I love the attention to detail in this. They go into space and they've all got these green lines around them that represent basically that they've got like an oxygen kind of shield around them to protect them to allow them to breathe and be in space. And Volk has one around him. And so then you see there's a little dotted line around his cloud.
Oh, yeah.
And it's made it into a sphere. A perfect sphere because
little head.
Because it's being contained. It's because it's smoke.
Yeah.
And so it's being contained into this perfect spherical kind of container for it. And so it takes the shape of it. And I just thought that was a really fun, like, kind of idea of, like, you've got this character whose head is literally just, it's spouting smoke. So when he does that, it turns into a bulb. It's fun.
It is really fun. I was a big fan of this. I just, the art in this book is so fucking cool. This first page, the very first page, I just think is so, I don't know.
I think this issue and the last issue specifically, I think were a big step up for me in terms of the readability of the art.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, being able to follow the exact sequence of what am I seeing, what's happening, what's the context here, and I think it's really helped. I think it's given him more to latch onto. I think the art it has in these last two issues has been more impactful, more powerful, more clear, because of that kind of straightforwardness.
What do you think about the white space here? I think because my idea now is that the white space is because this story is being recollected and not all parts of it are remembered. So I think that's why it's there, but it is a weird amount of white space, don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure what it means, but I'm seeing what you're seeing. You're talking about these bits where it's like broken panels.
Yeah, a lot of broken panels, and then, like, I think it's the recollection, like the memory.
Yeah, because there's that, and then there are pages where it's interspersed with the current, the present stuff, which are more square panels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that it's at least a narrative device to separate those. And I guess it's the idea that it's being kind of recalled secondhand. So it's not perfect. Yeah, there's something to that.
Okay. I'm really excited still. This is great.
Great. Cool.
I also have a theory about these covers.
Okay, what's your theory?
So you know how the first issue, it was green on the cover. The second issue, it was like a purplish sort of color. The third issue was green, and this one's red.
Okay.
I had a theory, but this one kind of threw it for a loop a little bit. So the second issue is like an indigo, or an indigo as it's shown in the past. But the indigo lanterns are, and the indigo color is compassion. Okay. In the second issue, it was actually based a lot on compassion because he was showing compassion to the spider pirate girl, and he gave her food and shit. So they got through, they progressed the story through the use of their compassion.
Okay.
So I thought this one, since it was red, it was going to have some sort of story progression based off of red, based off of rage.
Interesting.
So I didn't really get that. So I don't know. Maybe that's not a thing. But I thought it was really, really pointed at first when I saw this, was red as opposed to purple in the last one. So yeah, that was my whole thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what significance that has, but the spectrum is a big thing in kind of the mythology.
Was there anything
modern mythology of Green Lantern?
Was there anything in here that you noticed was like about rage though? Like I don't think anything progressed because of rage.
No, not really. I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, he's fucking. Is he going undercover in the end of this? It's a totally separate thing. Sorry.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's undercover anymore.
No, I mean like because he's joining the Dark Stars.
I think that he's probably joining the Dark Star. Yeah, he's probably going undercover, I think is the thing.
I'm trying to square that with square the reveal at the end where he's joining the villain with the cop story angle, and I feel like that's the story we're getting.
I feel like you're right.
Is that he's going to be going undercover in the criminal organization? He's going to have to pretend to be one of them before he gets them with a sting or whatever,
Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah, I would guess so. Makes sense.
Yeah,
totally down.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So
how was
those
the tie-in?
are what?
Heroes in Crisis tie-in. Just tell me quickly.
It was interesting. I was 100% right about the character. It's dealing with, and I'm kind of... It's weird because it is tying into Heroes in Crisis, but also I'm not really sure why yet. They're like talking about like solving the mystery, but then like this other stuff with this character that was teased also happens.
Okay.
And I don't really understand how the two things are connected.
Huh.
Or why.
Maybe it's just an excuse to have a crossover between Batman and Flash.
I feel like the Heroes in Crisis angle here, I feel like pick one. I don't understand why we're doing both of these things. Because we're getting major follow-up to like a kind of dropped thread in Tom King's Batman.
Okay.
Or at least a character that we haven't followed up on in a while. And then we're also getting this weird tie-in to Heroes in Crisis, and they're just kind of, they're not connected, and I don't really understand why they're both in here. The writing is fine. It's, the art is great.
Okay.
Gillum March. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say like, as someone reading Heroes in Crisis, you need to read this, but I'm interested to see where it's going to go.
Okay.
I really hope it is not just a story where the solicitations made it sound like it's going to be like Batman, Barry Allen holds Bruce Wayne responsible for the death of Wally West because he didn't save him or some bullshit. And so they're going to fight was kind of what I was getting from the ads for this series.
Yeah.
And that's fucking the kind of bullshit that got me to drop Josh Williamson's Flash series. Yeah. Just completely conflict just drummed up out of fucking nowhere. Mm-hmm. Weird soap opera bullshit. Anyways, yeah, you don't need to read it.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And the other one that I read was Prodigy, and I think that just continues to be good. I'm still reading it for sure. I think it's awesome. Okay, cool. Doug, we have comics next week too. Did you know that?
I did.
Wow. Exciting ones. We have Detective Comics number 998, Gideon Falls number 11, Justice League Dark number something. I don't know what it is. Do you want to look it up?
Justice League Dark is number 13. It seems like it's starting a Dr. Fate-centric arc, which I'm very excited
he's been around, so I'm excited to follow up on that. That book. I'm so excited. So I feel like we haven't gotten it a little bit.
It's been, we had one a couple weeks ago. I think it was that one that was a bunch of kind of one-off stories. So I think it kind of felt like it wasn't a next installment in the main story.
Yeah, I guess so. Then we also have Magic Order, which is the end.
Yeah.
See how Cordelia Moonstone gets out of her current predicament. Outer Darkness number 4. We have Avengers, No Road Home number 1. I'm going to get it because it's a smaller week next week, and I want to.
Yeah. I'm so on the fence.
It's Al Ewing.
I removed it from my... Well, it's Al Ewing and Jim Zub, and I don't know if Mark Wade's on this one anymore. Is he?
Oh, really? I don't know.
He was on the first series. This is like a follow-up to that No Road Home thing. Or wait, is this No Road Home, or which one was the other?
This is No Road Home. That one was No Surrender.
No Surrender. No anything.
No.
They just don't like anything.
They don't.
Surrender or Roads or anything.
So bad.
Yeah,
so sad.
I may or may not. That's a game time decision for me. But
okay, if you don't, you'll have safety. I'll get it. I'm also, and then there's also Captain Marvel 2, which is something that I need to decide whether I'm continuing on or not. I like the first one, but I'm interested to see where it's going to go. You know what I mean?
I'm picking up the next one because it is a lighter week. I want to keep reading it. I like that first issue. Is Superman coming out? It's in my app.
I'll see. Doug, we stopped using your app because it says things are coming out when it doesn't.
All right, it lies. I'm sorry.
It always lies.
If Superman is coming out, I'm very excited.
I mean, I'd be very excited too. That'd be great. But I mean, you can't get your hopes up, Doug.
Turns out, Superman number 8 is coming out.
Did you just ask me whether we wanted to?
I made an executive decision.
You're not an executive, Doug.
We're both executives.
We are both executives. We're co-executives. Can we say that instead of co-host? It sounds better.
We are co-executive president lords of.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Superman number no. What number is this? 8. Yeah, so we're going to get more of Superboy, which I'm excited for. Anyways, let's move on into our last thing. We are following up on our question from last week. So I posed a question last week that I wanted us to prepare for and answer this week, which was if you could create a 7-person roster for the Justice League, if you were tasked with, if DC came to you and said, you're going to create the roster for the next run of Justice League, and it's got to be 7 characters, and it can't include Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, or Diana, Prince, Wonder Woman, any of those 3 characters, what is the lineup that you would make, that you would pitch to them?
Oh yeah.
So we both took the week, kind of thought about it a bunch. We came back with some 7-person rosters here.
Doug did his just under the wire.
I did not. I was thinking about it all week. I just didn't have like a solidified list until recently.
Okay.
Because I had too many people I wanted to put on the team. But I think I found like a good, like some good reasons to put the people I put on the team. Some good kind of connections and stuff. So
nice.
So yeah, you definitely spent, I think, a lot more time on this than I did.
I did spend some time.
You spent some time.
I don't know. I had a lot of fun figuring out, like, you know, how they would interact with each other, what they would be dealing with, like, over the course of like a certain arc or something. I don't know, and what the arc would entail theoretically.
Sure. Yeah. You put a lot of like, you're like halfway into like writing this book.
I will write this book, goddammit. It'll be my magnum opus.
I'm sorry. What?
My magnum opus.
You're really pronouncing that last word weird.
Opus. It was actually a
magnum
mispronunciation.
opus.
Magnum opus. Whatever. Fight me.
So yeah, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us about what is your Justice League that you came up with?
Thank you, Doug. I actually didn't use any usual members of Justice League. And what I was thinking about is, like, you know, covering all the bases, like cosmic, magic, I don't know, stealth kind of stuff, technologies kind of stuff. And I also made sure, did you pick a chairman of your Justice League?
I did not, but...
You need to pick a chairman.
No, I do have one.
Okay,
I didn't, like, specifically think about that question, but I had, like, a kind of person in charge in mind. So yes, I do have my chairman.
When I was making my thing, I also took into account what ages they would be in this story. And I decided that this would be a Justice League that would include characters like who are ages that are a little bit older than what they usually are. So the idea that, like, maybe Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman are retired or something like that, and new people need to be in there. You know?
Okay, sure.
So they're like a little bit older than what they usually are. So here we go. First of all, my chairman of the Justice League would be Cyborg.
Okay.
He'd be aged 38.
Okay, you're really doing some creating an alternate. You're getting very specific on this. Okay.
He's a little older. He's usually like, what, early 30s or so?
I went at this, I guess we never specified, so this is totally valid. I approach this from the angle of if I, right now, in the current DCU, was asked to make a roster, but continue.
Okay, well...
That's just a difference. That's just a difference. You didn't do anything wrong. Just continue.
It's just a difference. Oh, no, I don't think I did anything wrong.
No.
I think you did something wrong.
You did something wrong. No, you didn't.
Okay, I think Cyborg, he's 38. He's dealing a little bit less with his lack of humanity, but more with the fact that he doesn't seem to be aging like he should be.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, then we have Firestorm at age 31. He's stuck in the merged Firestorm state, And he's trying to figure, like, you know how he's usually able to, actually, you know what, I'm not going to go into all this. I wrote all these for every single character.
Yeah, you like really are like creating.
I'll show you later.
You're writing this damn book. This was, I just came up with who was on the team. And like,
okay, I'll just say who's on the team. Maybe I'll post my little thing somewhere later.
If you think there's anything particularly interesting about any of these, like, you could say it. We don't need to get into like a huge...
I mean, I think this is interesting. So I would think that Firestorm, for some reason, he's stuck in this Firestorm state. You know how he usually like has to join and then becomes the... Okay. So you know how also he like talks to the voice in his head and that's the professor? Yep. I was thinking that like if he's stuck in this state too long, he wouldn't be able to talk with the voice as much. He'd be more integrating the professor's thoughts and ideas. But, you know, to him, it would seem like he's losing that part, like the professor is going away. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
But in any case, I'm not going to go into the rest of that. Sorry. I'm just going to say the people now, and their ages. So then I have Psychopirate.
You can kind of explain kind of your reasoning for putting on them on the team, or like.
Okay. Then I got Psychopirate at age 64.
Okay.
The reason he'd be included is because I would want the Antimonitor as a featured big bad.
Okay.
And he's had a specific experience. And also, I think he'd be a great way to, like, you know, play off of Cyborg being only half human, half emotional. Or, like, I have some other people down here, too. So Psychopirate at age 64, old dude, sort of trying to figure out how his powers work in a new age of, like, how emotions affect us. You know what I mean? Like, emotions affect us differently now than they did in, like, the 80s. Okay. So how does he figure that out?
Sure.
Okay. So then we have Adam Strange at 48.
Okay.
I have him as sort of a little bit of a self-medicating addict. Raven at 32 for the mystical. We have Shazam at age 16. And then we have Renee Montoya as the Question at age 37. And I know that Renee Montoya is not the Question anymore because of New 52. So I kind of wrote down what her origin would be, but I'm not going to go through that. So that's my team. Cyborg, Firestorm, Psychopirate, Adam Strange, Raven, and Renee Montoya. I think that it, you know, covers all the bases of, like, you know, you got cosmic people like Adam Strange. You have, you know, people who are mega strong, like Shazam.
Yeah.
You have Cyborg with all this technology shit, and he's, like, been on the team before, kind of, and he's been chairman before, I believe. And then we have, like, I don't know, Psychopirate who can play off of them with, like, their emotions and figure out how, I don't know, whatever. Raven and Shazam both are part of the mystical part, but on either side. So, like, I feel like Raven and Shazam would not be, like, you know, very getting along together. Like, Raven would be super pessimistic and be like, no, they're going to be able to do this. And Shazam, because he's, you know, younger and everything like that, he would be more optimistic and more in light with the brighter side of the magic universe. So yeah, that's my team. Yeah,
you definitely put a lot of thought into this. I think this is a really cool team. I would definitely read a book about them. I think Psychopirate is a weird choice that I would be fascinated to see how that would play out.
I just want fucking people to use Psychopirate. He's the best goddamn character.
I'm interested in how you would use him as a good guy.
Well, the way I think of it is that he'd be struggling with how to use. Okay, here we go. He'd be on the team because he has experience with the Antimonitor, and he'd be a part of the story. And I think Psychopirate would use his powers so that he could make people, like, not go into shock when they're, like, bleeding out, so that they can do work on them, or, like, I don't know, to, like, I feel like you could use that, like, on bad guys, but, you know, his powers would cause problems too, because he wouldn't know how that, like, causing someone to be sad, maybe it doesn't make them sad and, like, depressed or anything. Maybe it makes them sad, and because they're sad, they're angry that they're sad. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that, which are more, like, you know, higher concept emotional reactions.
Sure. Yeah, I would be interested to see how a, like, version of this character who's trying to do good would try to use it in a Justice League like context, you know? I'm I think that's interesting. I think that could be cool.
Maybe someone's like seeing like, maybe there's like a sort of, you know, for the greater good, we have to do this really evil thing, or not evil thing, but like these means that aren't that great. Maybe they really have to do those means, and he makes it so that they do those. And maybe that's not that good, but maybe that was necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like him as the kind of really weird kind of, you always got to have at least one character who's just like a total left turn.
Oh, hell yeah.
Swerve.
He's not used enough.
Yeah, and having him tie into, like, if you want to be a major villain, be the anti-monitor, I think that could be a cool in to that character being unexpectedly a part of this. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, Doug.
Anti-monitor. Speaking of...
Okay.
I actually also kind of was on a similar kind of wavelength with that, although I took a different direction with it.
Interesting.
So the first thing that I thought of, the thing that kind of first really solidified in my head that like I kind of built everything from, sort of. I mean, they're not like in, but I don't know. Anyways, it was the first thing that I like really nailed down as like, this is kind of the basis of what I want to do conceptually with my team. I don't have a list for you to look at here, but I'll just tell you. My first thing that I wanted to do was I thought about the idea of like, what are like kind of the staples of the Justice League? One of the biggest things for me, kind of visually, and kind of conceptually, is the idea of the Watchtower. They're the idea of their satellite that revolves around the Earth, that is their base. And I wanted to find a way to kind of make the Watchtower more of a kind of, not a metaphorical character, but a literal, like, kind of like, how could I make the idea of the Watchtower more of an active participant in the story? So what
is the Watchtower, Danny the Street?
I thought of that, but no. I almost made it Brother Eye. But I ended up going with Harbinger. So Harbinger is the woman that the Monitor recruits from Earth and basically turns into his onboard AI in his ship.
Yeah.
So she's in both the Crises and then in Multiversity. She's currently the onboard AI for the God, what are they called? The like Multiversity heroes who are still like a thing.
Oh, the Hollow Heroes or something like that?
Yeah, they have a name. The
House of Heroes?
Operation Justice Incarnate.
Something like that.
Anyways, she's in the House of Heroes. But so that was the first thing is, but basically like the idea is it's her, but she is the satellite. Like she has been installed into the Justice League satellite and is like, so you see her big floating head and shit, and she can create kind of manifestations of her human form to help them, but also is kind of the manifestation of the satellite itself. So they would basically, I also would kind of want the satellite to be a bit more mobile. I think the satellite would actually kind of transport them places. Like when the Justice League shows up, I'm picturing like the satellite appears, it like teleports into the sky, and then they all emerge from it. That was kind of my first thing that I was like very excited by.
I like that. That's cool.
So then where I went from there was I was like, well, she's kind of an into the cosmic side of things, specifically like, I think, like the Anti-Monitor would be a cool, kind of villain for them to face. So I have like that kind of cosmic side of things. But, one of my favorite things on Justice League teams or superhero teams is like, who's the smart person? Who's the scientist or the tactician or the kind of into technology? So that character would kind of be able to interface with Harbinger and kind of be kind of their tactical kind of leader / tech person in a lot of ways. So I went with Mr. Terrific.
Oh, okay.
So Mr. Terrific would kind of be their scientific mind. And I think of all the like hero characters who are all about science, I think he's kind of the best choice. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And then I started thinking about who. So we want kind of also an into the magical world.
Yes.
And so Mr. Terrific often has had kind of because this is a world that literally has magic and faith stuff. Mr. Terrific has in the past. I've read a bunch of stuff with him in JSA and in the Spectre. That is stuff about like him. He's this version. Michael Holt, it came from John Ostender's The Spectre run. So in that and in Jeff Johns' JSA, he's kind of like he has moments where he kind of is like, how can I be a man of science in a world where there literally are gods and magic and shit?
Yeah.
And so he kind of struggles with that a little bit. Because he has a history with faith. So I wanted a kind of character that challenges that and plays with that a bit more. So I put a character from Grant Morrison's run on Justice League, who is a literal angel.
Oh, shit.
So his name is Zoriel. And he's a really cool character that has kind of disappeared for a long time.
Oh, shit.
But
what's his deal?
He is a kind of fallen angel, like an angel who has kind of been shunned from the kingdom of heaven. But like, this is a Grant Morrison created character. It's basically God and angels reimagined through a sort of New Gods-esque kind of lens.
Okay.
Where they're these like crazy space gods. But it's like, like Christian mythology.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, he's got a white and gold uniform. He's got big, bird wings and shit, like you imagine of an angel. He's got a flaming sword. He's a cool character. I think he's a cool in to a side of the magical world that we don't see in DC a lot.
Definitely.
And I think he would be a cool foil for Mr. Terrific. I also wanted, while I did that, I just like the magic side of stuff. And I felt like we still did need an into like the dark magical side of things.
Yeah.
So I also put Zatanna on the team.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about her.
Because I think like, yeah, like she is like, I think she's the most like kind of relatable of the like heroic dark magic side of the DC universe.
I can see that.
Who's kind of on that level, who could be on the Justice League, kind of power wise. And then we can't use Clark Kent, but I wanted to.
You're not going to use Bizarro, are you?
No, I did not use Bizarro. Although that would have been fun. But I wanted someone who kind of represented kind of that end of things, that kind of corner of the universe, because I think the Justice League specifically, it's important to have kind of some of that Kryptonian mythology in there, largely because of Superman villains. I think are an important part of the Justice League. I feel like the Justice League needs to be able to face off against like Brainiac and like Lex Luthor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I felt like I wanted to put a representative of kind of the Superman family. And if not Clark Kent, I think the choice you would want is Supergirl.
Yeah.
I almost put John Kent on there, but I feel like in terms of characters who are next in line to be like that big kind of Superman level character, I feel like she's kind of next.
Yeah.
And also I wanted a teen character. I wanted a younger character, someone who's kind of like, I feel like you want, like you put Raven on your team or Shazam. You want that kind of character who's kind of like leveling up in terms of like, I'm a younger character who wants to be a bigger deal, who wants to be kind of more responsible. Anyways. So I thought she was a cool choice.
Yeah.
My last classic character I have on here is Black Canary.
Interesting.
I wanted someone who's a little bit more. I have a lot of kind of like very powerful characters, and I wanted someone who's a little bit more street level, but I didn't want to go quite so far as like the Question.
Yeah.
I wanted someone who could still kind of hold their own, but like actually did have some interesting powers and utility. So I thought Black Canary, like the use of the sonic scream and stuff, would be a very fun version of that. And kind of she's being more ground level. You could have an into the more kind of like, I don't know, lower level kind of characters and stuff. I think she's a good kind of mix. She's in that in between somewhere. So then like the second character after Harbinger that I got really that I kind of solidified as what I wanted is if I can't use Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. And a lot of this team is kind of, a lot of this exercise in general is kind of about like if you can't use these characters, who do you think should be in the big leagues? Who do you think should be a bigger deal than they are if those characters are gone? And I think like always in my mind, kind of a kind of sort of unofficial fourth in the Trinity has always been the Flash.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep one member of the classic team to be kind of your like gateway, your kind of like connection back to the classic roster.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought it would be really cool to have Flash kind of step up and be the leader, especially because as much as I love Wally West or any of the legacy Flash characters, Barry Allen specifically has a path. Kind of part of his character is that he's a teacher, not a literal teacher, but like he's like a mentor.
Yeah.
To a lot of characters. Like he likes to mentor characters. And is very good at it. So I thought that would be a really good role for him, bringing in a new team, leading them. So I think Barry Allen would be the chairman and kind of the leader of the team.
Also, Barry Allen is actually a molecular biologist, right?
I'm not sure what specific field of science.
I thought that he was like into biology, and that would work well with your like Mr. Terrific, who would be more into the technology side of like smart guy, scientist sort of thing, you know? He
definitely would be able to bond with Mr. Terrific in terms of like being a man of science. He's a forensic scientist. I'm not sure what like his like degree or whatever he is in. I don't recall.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyways, but he's, you know, he's a scientist. He's also a little bit of a detective because he's a forensic scientist. So you've got kind of a bit of range in terms of utility. You could use him for there. I wanted to make sure you at least had a character who could be kind of more of the Batman role on this team in terms of being a detective. So I thought he could fill that. Yeah. So that's my team.
Was that it? Wait, go off all the names just in a row.
So my team was, I'm going to have you list yours again in a minute.
Okay.
But, my team was, The Flash, Barry Allen as chairman, Harbinger, Mr. Terrific, Zoriel, Zatanna, Supergirl, and Black Canary.
Damn. Okay. And mine is, Cyborg as the chairman, Firestorm, Psycho Pirate, Adam Strange, Raven, Shazam, and Renee Montoya as the Question.
Okay. Yeah, I think both of those are really cool.
My Justice League would beat the shit out of yours.
Oh my god, jeez. I just noticed you had Psycho Pirate at 64. Wow, that's so old.
I know. But I think that's a great thing because like I think it plays into like him him being able to use his powers still, but not knowing how they affect people anymore because it's just a different emotional experience. We're more in line with how they affect us, I feel like. I feel like as a species, we're more emotionally mature than we were, you know, even in the 80s, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I think both of those are very interesting lineups. I would love to read a book about either of those.
We should write up this and post them somewhere and
definitely.
Ask people to be like, who is better? Who would you read?
Or to pitch their own lineup that they've thought of.
Oh, because you're afraid that they'll all say that they would read mine instead of yours, is the thing?
I said also.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So,
for the record, mine would beat the shit out of yours.
This is an argument over who would win. Dude, what are you... Come on.
Yeah.
No, come on. I don't
Raven
think so.
is going to call her dad and swallow your entire team whole.
One of my characters is literally a satellite. One of them is Supergirl.
Satellite's going to dismantled by Cyborg.
One of them is an angel.
Angel. Who am I going to... Well, Raven is from hell. She's basically an angel of hell.
Yeah,
She's better than an angel. She's a son of the devil, basically.
Raven, I almost put on my team instead of Zatanna, but I ended up going with Zatanna.
I think Raven's such a cool character because I feel like she struggles to be... Like, what I have written down here is that she has this, like, voice that tells her that she needs to be evil, but she constantly fights against it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. And you know what? With your Supergirl shit, Shazam, he's gonna beat the shit out of her. Seriously.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
I think that's absolutely true. Don't they have, like, Shazam squaring off against Superman a lot of times?
Yeah, they're generally fairly evenly matched, but yeah, the Kryptonian characters do have a weakness or aversion to magic, so it's possible. But
I forgot about that. That's a thing?
Yeah.
How does that play out?
They basically are less powerful around
magical
magic.
People? Huh.
Yeah, or magic can harm them. Maybe that's more it. I don't think it's like it depowers them necessarily, but...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was also thinking about putting Black Adam, but I don't think that would make as much sense.
Black Adam could... Like, Black Adam has been a good guy in the past.
But he wouldn't go on the Justice League.
He's been on the Justice Society.
Okay. Well, fuck you then.
I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding. Okay. That's
Cool.
it. Well, cool.
All right. So that's gonna do it for this week. If you made it this far into the show, thank you so much for listening. The absolute biggest thing you can do for us as a podcast is give us a review or star rating on iTunes. If you enjoy the show, let someone know with your mouth or your mouse.
Yes. Thank you.
Just kind of like staple a small note to a rat and then kind of let it loose in a crowded place.
Jesus. That
it says
really like painful.
It's all right. Don't staple it to him. That's animal cruelty. I'm not advocating animal cruelty.
You are. You literally
I took
just
it back. Don't do it. Leave the mouse alone. Just tie it to him.
Well, I don't know. That could get caught on something. Like, Doug, you're just like really digging yourself a hole here. Someone's going to dig this recording up in like 10 years when you're a really famous director and get you off of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 10.
Yep. We release episodes on Sundays every week, so be sure to check back in next week for our next episode. Or better yet, if you subscribe to the show, hit that subscribe button, then you'd never even have to think about it. It just shows up on your phone whenever a new one comes out.
You know, destroy that like button, hit the bell.
Hit that bell.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Is
I
there
just
a bell?
didn't like it when you said hit the subscribe button. It sounded like those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of what we're doing.
Okay, whatever. But you can do that on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Overcast, Google Play Music, Spotify, lots of shit. Lots of stuff. But whichever podcast app you prefer, we've got you covered. In the meantime, before the next episode, you can find us on Twitter and Facebook under the handle @ComicsCovered. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do this. Valuable content.
You posted the link for that one?
Yes. You can also find
that was one of the most uncomfortable silences I have experienced without when you didn't say covered there for a minute. It was very uncomfortable.
In your life?
Nah, probably not. I have experienced.
Do you have a specific one in mind? What was the worst silence that you've ever?
Oh boy! All right. Let me lie down on my fainting couch now and tell you about all the uncomfortable silences in my life.
Is that one up there?
That one was very uncomfortable. Also,
okay. You can also find web archives. See, this is the valuable content that I'm talking about, people.
Should I start editing a laugh track into our show?
Oh my god. Just once. Just do it once. And
Every time we make a bad joke, just put in a laugh track.
No. What if it's not a laugh track? What if it's just ha?
It's Ricky Gervais laughing.
Ooh, he does have a very nice laugh. I love that man. Where was I? You can find web archives of all our episodes. Archive 5. All our episodes at comicscovered.libsyn.com and on our YouTube channel. We have video versions on Facebook as well. If you want to get a hold of us with a question or feedback, send us a message on Facebook or Twitter, or at our email, comicscovered@gmail.com. Doug, when's the last time you checked our Gmail?
A long time ago.
Okay, well, we hope you're still listening if you sent us a question and we haven't said anything. Like you, John Smith, or you, Jerry. Fuck you, Jerry. Thank you again for listening. I'm Jack.
I'm Doug.
You said like I'm lying or something.
Well, you said your name.
What? I always say my name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go.
This has been Comics Covered.
Thanks for listening.
Cheerio.